Section 2. This means everything governments do must be to protect and maintain individual rights, which is basically what I've said to you all along, that the only job of a government is to protect the people and their property. Okay. The quote-unquote Supreme Court has held consistent with this principle, quote, the duties of this court, as of every judicial tribunal, is limited to determining rights of persons or of property which are actually controverted. Tyler versus Judges of the Court of Registration, 179 U.S. 405. While standing consists of two absolutely essential elements. First, violation of a legal right, and two, personal injury. Now I'll apply this standard to cases brought by pretended state and United States attorneys. First, we'll look at a traffic case, such as a failure to wear a seatbelt. Traffic cases represent a significant source of energy stolen from people every year. I get a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. The case is called State of Arizona versus Mark Stevens, who is providing this narrative. One of two requirements for standing is a plaintiff must allege personal injury. Has the state of Arizona, a fiction, alleged that I have caused a personal injury by not wearing a seatbelt? Of course not. That's one essential missing element. I've already established the pretended plaintiff is not entitled to have the court decide the merits of the dispute or any dispute of this particular issue. In Worth versus Selden, 422 U.S. 490, 470, 498, 1975, allegations or not, there's no injury to anyone if I don't wear a seatbelt. Okay? So this is standing under their law. He's done a good job of explaining what standing is under international law of the sea and how they look at this, right? But I brought up a different standing in talking about Mr. Trump not being able to establish standing because he's not present in our jurisdiction. If you're not in someone's jurisdiction, then you cannot claim to have standing in a case in that jurisdiction, right? So if you're out at sea on a boat in the middle of the ocean, acting as the captain of a vessel under a foreign flag, you obviously can't come in and say that you have anything to do with what's going on over here on the land and on the soil of a country, right? So that's a different kind of standing, and it's a standing that has to do with the jurisdiction you're in. If you don't have the correct jurisdiction, then you really can't act upon it. You can't be two places at once, so to speak. So that's the other kind of standing where you have to have it isn't based on having a complaint. It isn't based on having an injury. In our case, in the case of the land and soil, it primarily has to do with being present on the land and soil. If you're working as a foreign officer, you're in the employ of a foreign corporation, and you've accepted a citizenship obligation that is foreign, then you have nothing to say about what goes on in America on the land and soil of the states of the Union.